Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Marcielle again. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are moving on to another legend. It is called The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. I want you to pay attention to the characteristics of this legend because you will have an assignment to do afterwards. The Legend of the Paintbrush by retold and illustrated by Tommy De Paola. Many years ago, when the people traveled the plains and lived in the circle of teepees, there was a boy who was smaller than the rest of the children in the tribe, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't keep up with the other boys, who were always riding, running, shooting their bows, and wrestling to prove that they were strong. Sometimes his mother and father worried for him. But the boy who was called the little gopher was not without a gift of his own. From an early age, he made toy warriors from scraps of leather and pieces of wood, and he loved to decorate smooth stones with red juices from berries he found in the hills. The wise shaman of the tribe understood that the little gopher had a gift that was very special. "Do not struggle, little gopher. Your path won't be the same as the others. You will grow up to be warriors. Your place among the people will be remembered for a different reason." He said, you might not be strong, you might not shoot your bow like them, you might not run as fast as them, but you have your own gift. And in a few years, when little Gopher was older, he went out to the hills alone to think about becoming a man, for this was the custom of the tribe. And it was there that a dream vision came to him. The sky filled with clouds, and out of them came a young Indian maiden and an old grandfather. She carried a rolled-up animal skin, and he carried a brush made of fine animal hairs and pots of paints. Excuse me. The grandfather spoke. "My son, these are the tools by which you shall become a great among your people. You will paint pictures of the deeds of warriors and the visions of shaman, and the people shall see them and remember them forever." The maid unrolled white buckskin and placed it on the ground. "Find a buckskin as white as this," she told him, "and keep it. And one day you will paint a picture that is pure as the colors in the evening sky." And as she finished speaking, the clouds cleared, and a sunset of great beauty filled the sky. Little Gopher looked at the white buckskin, and on it he saw colors as bright and beautiful as those made by the setting of the sun. The sun slowly sank behind the hills. The sky grew dark, and the dream vision was over. Little Gopher returned to the circle of people. The next day he began to make soft brushes and from the hairs of different animals, and stiff brushes from the hairs of horses' tails. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks of different colors and crushed them to make paints. He collected the skin of animals which the warriors brought home from their hunts. He stretched the skin on the wooden frames and pulled them until they were tight. What is he getting ready to do? Getting ready to paint a picture. And he began to paint pictures of great hunts. So this is what they did back then. They were hunting so that they could have food or use the skin to keep them warm. But even as he painted, little Gopher sometimes longed to put aside his brushes and ride out with the warriors. But he always remembered his dream vision, and he did not want to go with them. Many months ago, he found his pure white buckskin. but it remained empty because he could not find the colors of the sunset. He used the brightest flowers, the reddest berries, the deepest purples from the rock, and still his painting never satisfied him. They looked dull and dark. He began to go to the top of the hill each morning and look at the colors that filled the sky to try to understand how to make them. He longed to share the beauty of his dream vision with the people. He wanted to. So what's the problem in this story? He also can't find the colors to paint the sunset, the sky, right? But he never gave up trying. Every morning when he woke, he took his brushes and pots of paints and created the stories of the people with the tools that he had. And one night, as he lay awake, he heard a voice calling to him, "Because you have been faithful to the people and true to your gift, you shall find the colors that you are seeking. Tomorrow, take the white buckskin and go to the place where you watch the sun in the evening. There on the ground, you will find whatever you will need." So he said, because you kept your promise, stay true to yourself, stay true to your gift of painting, you are going to find the colors that you've been wanting. So let's see. The next evening, as the sun began to go down, Little Gopher put aside his brushes and went to the top of the hill. And as the colors of the sunset spread across the sky, and there on the ground all around him were brushes filled with paint, and each one a color of the sunset. Little Gopher began to paint quickly and surely, using one brush then another. And as the colors in the sky began to fade, Little Gopher gazed at the white buckskin, and he was happy. He had found the colors of the sunset. He carried his painting down to the circle of the people, leaving the brushes on the hillside. And the next day when the people awoke, the hill was ablaze with color, for the brushes had taken root in the earth and multiplied it into plants of brilliant reds, orange, and yellows. And every spring from that time, the hills and the meadows burst into bloom. So he left his paintbrushes. The paintbrushes went into the ground, and then they made flowers. And every spring, the people danced and sang praises of Little Gopher, who painted for the people. And the people no longer called him Gopher, but they called him He who brought the sunset to the earth. And they told him, "You will be remembered. You will be remembered." So, the author did want to say something. Sorry, the little thing in the back is making a lot of noise. Okay, the lovely red and orange, yellow, and even pink Indian paintbrushes blooms in profusion throughout Wyoming, Texas, and in the high plains. And as many stories, where was I at? Connect with its origin. The story of this Native American artist and his desire to paint the sunset was meaningful to him. There are times where the author wished that he could go on the hill and find brushes filled with exactly the colors that he needed. And who knows, maybe that'll still happen. But what's really awesome about this story is that they were saying this is why there's flowers in the spring side, right? Because of the paintbrushes. And that's not, it's a legend. It's being told by someone who said it constantly, and then it went down to the next person, down to the next person, down to the next person. But what was the theme of this story? What was the lesson? To always follow your what? your gift, your heart. Find something that you are good at, or maybe there's something that you're just naturally good at, and go for it. So just because someone who is really good at sports and you're really good at maybe gymnastics or painting or whatever it is, that doesn't make your gift any less better. Any less than them. So it means we all have different things that we're good at. And it's important for us to follow our heart so that we can do the things that we love. And when we do the things we love, other people will enjoy it. See you later. Bye.